Hey, what's up, Louie? This is a demo video for you for your Inspira Designs IDL sabers. I had got distracted after I do the second part of this video, which I record first, and while I was doing something, I didn't even think about it, and I packed up your sabers. So your sabers are in the box with the coupler, but we're going to go over my desk. I will show you exactly how I built these guys up and how to use them. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will get these out in the mail to you first thing on Monday. All right, thanks. All right, Mr. Vang, let's go over your Inspira Design IDL sabers. Of course, you got two of them to put into the staff configuration with this coupler, and I will show you the coupler attached to these two sabers at the very end, okay? We're gonna go over these sabers one by one, so we'll just take this one and we'll put it off to, let's say, this side over here, all right? And we'll go over this guy right here. So these are both 2-button setups. They're the exact same saber. So what I'll do is I'll spend a little bit of time going through this one in detail. The second one will kind of run through, but I still wanna show you that it functions properly, all right? So you got power over here, auxiliary over here. These are your plunger switches. This, of course, being your brass, your brass blade plug. You see these two set screws over here. This one is for your blade plug. All right, so we're gonna just loosen that up a hair, pop that off. Very cool. All right, put this over here. You also got two of these, so I'll show you that these have some shine through. These were printed over from Adrian over at Inspira Designs out of some translucent material. They have some nice shine through, so I'll show you just one of these because they're both the same. All right, but I'll show you them on both sabers. I'll put those over here. All right, so after you take your blade plug out, you can see your KR Sabers lit PCB there. What we're gonna do is come over here and take off the pommel. All right, take that off and put it right here. This is your chassis retention screw, this bottom guy right here, this being your blade retention, which is hidden when you have the blade plug in, all right? So we won't mess with that guy right now. What we're gonna do is we're just gonna loosen this guy up. You don't have to take it all the way out, just do a few turns. Your chassis will come right out. One thing about this chassis, I'm holding it with all the grub screws facing up. And I'm doing that because of the plunger switches. As soon as you turn it over, those plunger switches fall out. And I will show you how to put those in fairly easily. All right, we'll put those over here for now. That's your saber. We'll go over your chassis. So this is a chassis that I designed for Adrian for this run. It was very cool for him to reach out to me and ask me to do that. I had a lot of fun doing that, so thank you, Adrian. All right, you've got your kill switch right here. You got your two switches right here. Your KR Sabers lit PCB. You've got your Proffies V3 here. It is at an angle. All right, it's facing upwards, so you can get up over this positive battery tab, easy access to your SD card and your micro USB from right here. You do not have to move the board, although it is just a very tight snap fit into the shelf there, so you can if you really want to. There's just really no need to do that. All right, 22mm Smokeless Outpost Nano Elite speakers on both of them. Spring side for the negative side of your battery, please. You will need to acquire two 18350 Keep Power batteries. These are protected cell button top batteries. If you need a link to these, let me know. I'm happy to provide that. All right, you come over here, snap that in. It's a nice tight fit. These are both running my Apologize font for now for my buddy Jesse over at Kyberphonic. There is a copy also of the config file on each Proffies board, although it is the same config for both. I just went ahead and I put it on both SD cards. All right, so we'll flip it on. You can, of course, work it from here. Right, auxiliary, and we'll turn it off. That is good to go. Let's go over your plungers, all right? Where did I put those little guys? There they are, right here. So, something I like to do is I'll come over here, I'll make sure the blade plug is off. Of the two holes facing up, I'm gonna start with this one, all right? I'm gonna take one plunger, put it on my finger, feed it in here, push it in. Turn it about 45 degrees, all right? Now I'll take the other plunger, do the same thing. Come over here, push it in. Now I'll turn both of those downwards and have these grub screws facing up, all right? One thing I'll do, I'll just put this blade plug in like this. You can see both switches have a channel right here for the plungers, right? So we'll turn on the saber. The switches are facing down. So we want our switches facing down. You see this hole right here? That's going to line up with that grub screw for the chassis retention. If you don't have it lined up, the chassis is only going to go in that way. Turn it, it lines up, goes in the rest of the way right there. Push it until it doesn't go anymore. All right, we're going to come over here and lock the chassis down. All right, you don't have to manhandle it, just go until it's snug and you're good to go. And then we can take our pommel here and screw it on. All right, come over here and hit power. Auxiliary. Let's put a blade in this guy. This saber was designed for a 1-inch diameter blade. When I get this locked in, please excuse the markings on my blade. I use this for chassis designing and all kinds of stuff. This is just a regular Neopixel blade. You see how it has a bullet tip. In your box, you will have 2 of these from Adrian. These are made to replace the bullet tip on a Neopixel saber if you want the tip of the blade to be flat to more closely resemble what you would see in the Lego world. All right, so I will make sure that these get put back in your box, but that is what these are for. All right, but we got the blade locked down with our blade retention up here. We'll come over here and hit power. Blaster bolt deflect. Blade lock up. Very cool little saber here. We'll turn it off. All right, we'll just break it back down. So coming over here, loosening up the blade ever so. We'll go ahead and put the blade plug in right now. For the blade plug itself, in this middle one here, or this middle grub screw, don't be afraid to crank down on it a little bit. All right, we're gonna come over here, loosen our pommel. This is a trick to keep your plungers in. So when doing this operation right here, make sure that these grub screws always face up. If you do that, the plungers will stay in place. All right, so we're gonna loosen this a little bit, making sure that those grub screws are up. Taking our chassis out here, and I'm gonna put this off to the side right here. I'll have these hold it so the grub screws stay up. All right, we'll turn this on from here. Flip it off with the kill switch to kill power, and then take the battery out from the positive side over here by the board. You should be able to pop it out with your finger just like that. All right, we will lift this guy up, put our switches down on our chassis, slide this all the way in, lock it down, lock our chassis down. Okay, just a little snug. I'm going to leave the pommel off of this for right now because I want to show you later. We'll just screw the coupler on it. All right, I want to show you later the saber all put together. All right, so we're going to put this off to the side here. I'll put this pommel off to the side. We're going to grab this one that still has the pommel on it, and we're going to do the same thing. So on this one, we're going to run through this a little bit quicker because it's all the exact same setup. Just going to show, I forgot to show you that this lit up. Sorry about that. We'll do that on this one. All right, come over here, unscrew the pommel. Since I already showed you how to do the plungers on this one, I'm going to save myself and just leave them facing down so they stay in the saber. We'll loosen the chassis, pull it out. Put this in between these 2 pieces here. Same chassis setup, Proffies V3, tilted, SD card, and USB access. Kill switch, 2 switches, KR Sabers lit PCB, 22mm Nano Elite speaker, fully enclosed. Battery compartment for the 18350 protected cell. Snap it in there, turn it on. All right. Auxiliary. Let's put it inside of the saber. So remember, thumb screws up. We'll just hold this in here. If we don't hold it in here, let me show you what happens real quick, and I'll show you why I'm doing that. All right, so our switch is down. Turn this on. If I put this all the way in until it stops, and I lock that chassis down, what happens when you put your blade retention in is you have that little bit of gap right there. So we want to get rid of that and just push it back like that. All right, hold it here, lock the chassis in, and we can take this off. We'll put our pommel on. Come over here and hit power. As you can see, your blade plug got some very cool shine through. All right. So put a blade in this guy too. So again, 1-inch diameter blade. Push down on the pins. Come over here and lock it down with your hidden blade retention. Hit power. Blade locked up. All right, let's break this one back down, get the battery out of here. We'll put the chassis back in, and then I can show you what it looks like with the coupler on, excuse me. All right, so we'll take our pommel off. Grub screws facing up. Back that out a few turns, take our chassis out. All right, put this right here in between these two guys. Turn it on. Flip it off with the kill switch here. Taking our battery out from the positive side over here by our board. All right, and then again, we'll slide this in. Put this in so we know exactly where to go. Lock that down. While we're over here, we'll go ahead and lock the blade plug down as well. All right, we've got our two pommels here. We've got this other saber with the coupler on it, so we'll screw this on. You can see there's plenty of room there for sound venting, because when you have these all tightened together, you can see through the sound vents. Plenty of room there for sound. Another thing I really like about this coupler, these switches pretty much line up with each other. So on top here, on top over here. So very cool. All right, and that is basically how you work your Inspira Designs IDLs, excuse me, or put it together for your IDL staff. So thank you very much for having me do these for you. Let me know if you have any questions, and this will go out in the mail to you first thing on Monday. Thanks, man.